Google just sued a Chinese cybercrime ring that defrauded over 300,000 people using artificial intelligence. That's roughly the population of Pittsburgh, an entire city of victims. And here's what makes it absolutely terrifying. The criminals didn't send out the same generic email to everyone. They used AI to customize each message, each angle, each emotional hook tailored specifically to you. The scammers created fake identities, automated their outreach at global scale, and crafted messages that felt so genuine, most people had no reason to suspect they were being targeted by a machine. This wasn't just sophisticated fraud. This was industrial-grade crime powered by generative AI. They weaponized technology to defraud hundreds of thousands of people across multiple countries in ways that human scammers simply couldn't scale. Google's lawsuit is massive because it exposes the reality we've all been dreading. Artificial intelligence has entered the crime world, and it's already dramatically more effective than anything that came before. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this operation worked, why it was so devastatingly effective, and crucially, what you need to do to protect yourself from the next generation of AI-powered fraud heading your way right now. So who are these criminals, and how did they even get started? The ring was operating out of the People's Republic of China, and their targets weren't random at all. They specifically focused on overseas Chinese communities and other international victims who tend to have decent savings and, more importantly, are less likely to report their losses to local authorities. On the surface, they called it a loan scam. Victims would be contacted with attractive offers, sometimes personal loans, sometimes investment opportunities that promised quick returns, sometimes credit boosts. The messages came through every channel you use daily: WhatsApp, Telegram, WeChat, standard SMS, which made them feel legitimate and familiar. What made this operation completely different from your typical phishing email or romance scam is that these criminals had done proper research. They'd collected massive amounts of personal data on their targets: job histories, social media profiles, family information, relationship details, financial background, and they'd fed all of it into AI systems. The AI would analyze each person's unique profile and figure out exactly what kind of pitch would work on them. A software engineer gets pitched a tech startup investment. A single parent gets offered a quick loan for childcare costs. It was targeted psychological warfare, automated at massive scale. This is where the story really gets interesting. Here's where AI completely changed the game for these criminals. Traditional scammers are bottlenecked by time. One person can only have so many conversations, craft so many messages, manage so many fake identities at once. But AI doesn't sleep. AI doesn't get tired. AI doesn't make mistakes out of carelessness. The operation used machine learning models to process thousands of victim profiles simultaneously, identify the psychological angle most likely to work on each person, and then generate custom messages that sound like they're coming from a real human. Think of it like this: instead of a con artist reading a room and adapting their pitch on the fly, they've got a machine that can read 10,000 rooms at once and deliver a perfect personalized pitch to each person in every single one. The AI wasn't just doing the targeting and messaging either. It was managing fake profiles across multiple platforms, keeping the stories straight, remembering details about each victim, and maintaining the illusion of authenticity even when contradictions would have exposed a human scammer. The criminals could automate the entire front end of the scam, cycling through victims rapidly and only stepping in personally when victims were ready to transfer money. The efficiency was devastating. And this is just the beginning of what's possible. Let me walk you through what an actual victim's experience looked like. A woman in California named Y received a message on WhatsApp from someone claiming to be a loan officer at a legitimate financial company. The message mentioned her name, her occupation as an accountant, and even referenced her recent job change that she'd only posted on WeChat a few days prior. The level of detail was incredible. She thought, wow, they really did their homework. The person offered her a personal loan at a competitive rate, something she'd actually been searching for online. But here's the kicker: before she could actually get the loan, she needed to prove she was creditworthy by making a small deposit to a bank account, just $5,000 to verify her identity. It seemed legitimate. Hundreds of thousands of people fell for variations of this exact scenario. The AI had identified Y as someone actively looking for credit, calculated the exact amount that seemed reasonable to her financial situation, crafted a message that referenced real details from her life, and timed it perfectly. Once victims started transferring money, the criminals would ask for more, for processing fees or insurance deposits or other made-up costs. But by then, the psychological hook was set. The victim had already committed and felt invested. The scam would stretch across weeks or months, extracting tens of thousands of dollars from individual victims. Some lost their entire savings. So how does an AI-powered scam operation compare to traditional fraud? A typical human-run scam ring might employ 50 people working around the clock. Each person handles maybe 10 to 20 victims simultaneously if they are really pushing it. That's 1,000 victims max for a whole operation, assuming everyone's working non-stop. But this AI ring, with the same human overhead, they were targeting hundreds of thousands of people. The machine was handling 98% of the interaction. Human scammers operate at human speed. They read emails, they craft responses, they remember details. AI operates at machine speed. It processes thousands of interactions per second, never forgets a detail, never gets confused between victims, never has a bad day where it accidentally uses the wrong name. Human scammers are limited by language. They need to know the victim's language, understand cultural nuances, adapt messaging accordingly. This operation deployed AI that could communicate naturally in Mandarin, English, Cantonese, and other languages simultaneously with no performance loss. Human scammers struggle with maintaining consistency across multiple fake identities. This AI system could maintain hundreds of different personas, each with a complete backstory, consistent details, and believable social media presence. The success rate was dramatically higher. The profit per victim was extracted much more efficiently. The geographic reach was literally global. This is why law enforcement and security experts have been sounding the alarm. When AI enters the criminal ecosystem, it doesn't just make crime better, it transforms it into something completely different. Here's what keeps security experts up at night. This Chinese operation was caught because Google noticed a surge in fraudulent activity targeting their users and had the resources to investigate. But how many other operations are happening right now that nobody's noticed yet? Thousands, tens of thousands. This wasn't some cutting-edge AI development that required years of specialized research. The criminals used off-the-shelf language models, widely available data scraping tools, and pretty basic machine learning. Any moderately competent technical team could replicate this. And unlike a physical crime like bank robbery, this scales infinitely. One operation can target millions of people simultaneously across continents. The authorities can't scale as fast as the criminals can. The implication is stark. We're entering a new era where AI-powered fraud becomes the default, not the exception. Traditional scams will become rarer simply because AI is more efficient. Every criminal organization with any technical sophistication will adopt these tools. The victim count will keep climbing. And here's the part that really matters to you personally. You can't rely on, "Oh, I'm smart enough to spot a scam" anymore. These aren't dumb attempts. These are psychologically sophisticated, personalized, and backed by machine learning that's analyzing your vulnerabilities better than you understand them yourself. The rules of online trust have fundamentally changed. So what do you actually do? First, assume that any unsolicited message offering money or financial opportunity is probably a scam. That includes loan offers, investment tips, inheritance claims, anything. Yes, sometimes it's legitimate, but the risk-reward calculation is simple. Verify everything through official channels first. Second, never, ever send money upfront for loans or investments, no matter how urgent they say it is. Legitimate financial institutions don't operate this way, period. If someone's asking you for a deposit to verify your creditworthiness or secure your loan, it's a scam, full stop. Third, treat personal information like currency because it is currency. Don't post detailed information about your job, your location, your family, your financial situation on social media. These criminals are data mining your public profiles to build accurate psychological profiles. Less public information means they have less ammunition. Fourth, if something feels oddly tailored to you, if someone mentions details about your life that you only posted privately, That's actually a red flag, not a reassurance. It means they've researched you specifically, which legitimate financial institutions don't do via unsolicited messages. Fifth, verify the source before you trust anyone. You've got an offer from Bank of America, go to bankofamerica.com directly. Don't click any link in the message. Call the number on the back of your official bank card, not the number in the message. These simple friction steps defeat most AI-powered scams because they require human verification, which the criminals can't scale. Stay skeptical, stay careful. This is only going to get more sophisticated. Here's what Google's lawsuit signals: the cat's out of the bag. AI-powered fraud is real, it's working at massive scale, and it's going to become the baseline for organized crime. The good news is that awareness is the first defense. You now know how these operations work. You understand that personalization and authenticity can be manufactured at scale. You know the red flags, you know what to do. The challenge ahead is that we need better systems for verification at the platform level. WhatsApp, Telegram, WeChat, they need stronger authentication, better fraud detection, and faster response times to organized campaigns. Regulators need to understand that this is different from traditional fraud. The speed and scale demand different solutions. As for you personally, stay skeptical of any unsolicited offer that finds you where you are. Verification through official channels isn't paranoia, it's survival. This case also shows that the criminals aren't as smart as the technology. They got caught because they scaled too aggressively. But the next operation will learn from this and be more cautious. The fundamental vulnerability isn't going away, personal data is still out there, AI models are still improving, and the profit motive is as strong as ever. What this means for you is simple: trust nothing from strangers online without verification. Stay informed about emerging threats, and understand that the internet you grew up with, where you could mostly trust what you saw, that era is over. The future of online security depends on skepticism and verification becoming habits. Thanks for watching, and follow for daily AI news.